Hello you guys and welcome to our second class. Again, my name is Diana Vasquez and the topic for today is travel plans. So let's start with today's lesson. Let me share that presentation with you and we will go from there. Okay, so again, this is our presentation for today. As I said before, the topic is travel plans. It is our class 2, and on the corner, the left bottom corner, you have my name, Diana Vasquez. So let's start with our activities for today. We do have a listening that is actually a video, but we're going to be watching that video and answering some comprehension questions, based on the information presented in that video. Okay, so let's start with our vocabulary for the day. And this is like a pre-listening vocabulary. So with this vocabulary, please take notes because you need this vocabulary to better understand what happens in those 3 dialogues that I'm going to present to you later today. And you are going to need that vocabulary not only to understand better, but also to answer some of the comprehension questions. So let's start. It is six vocabulary terms. So let's begin. So vocabulary, or it's also very common to say vocab, okay, like an abbreviation, so vocab. And of course, our vocab is related to travel, not only transportation, but also places to visit when we travel. And the first one is a bus stop, okay? A bus stop. So let's practice that vocabulary one more time, and that is a bus stop. And of course, if we want to give a description or a definition, definition, not description, definition or the definition of a bus stop is a place like the one you see in the picture where people go to wait for the bus. So you go there and you wait until the bus picks you up, the bus you need. Okay, so one more time, that is a bus stop. Now let's go with our second vocabulary term, and that is going to be a platform. Okay, a platform. So do you guys have an idea of what this is, or how would you, let me know in the comments what type of definition you would give of this place. I'll give you 5 seconds and then I'll give you my definition. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So a platform is the place where you wait on the train. Okay, so to access the platform, you have to have paid for your ticket first. With the bus stop is the opposite. You just go to the bus stop, and then when you get on the bus, you pay for the ride. So with the platform or with the train is different. First you pay, and then you access the platform to wait on your train. So platform. Let's go with our next, number 3, our next vocabulary term. And that is going to be a departure lounge. Okay, attention to pronunciation. Again, that is going to be a departure. Okay, so departure and lounge. A departure lounge. A departure lounge, as you can see, is where when you are traveling by plane, you go and you wait at the departure lounge for your plane to take off. Okay, they start calling you and then you get on the plane. So the departure lounge is where you wait on your plane. So we had the bus stop, that is where you wait on your bus. Then we had the platform, that is where you wait on your train. And now we have the departure lounge, that is where you wait on your plane. So let's see number 4. Number 4 is a subway station. Okay, subway station. Important. We call it subway because it is underground, okay, a subway station. So of course, a subway station is where you take the subway to go different places, and then in the subway station you have platforms. Okay, let's go to the next one, that is going to be number 5, if I'm not mistaken, and that is a museum. Okay, museum. So a museum is a place where, of course, you go to see art, and there are different types of museum because there are different types of art. Okay, and I think I skipped one, so let me check. Oh no, in number 6, the last one is a train. That of course is a transportation system. Okay, so, and we said before, or I said before, that if you want to travel by train, you have to go to a platform, and before you access the platform, you have to have bought the ticket. Okay, so those 6, let me remember, those 6 vocabulary terms that we studied today, or that we just learned, were a bus stop, number 1, bus stop, number 2, no, it wasn't the departure lounge. Now I have to go back. I have a bad memory, you guys. Okay, so number 1, a platform. Number 2, number 1, a bus stop. Number 2, a platform. Number 3, a departure lounge. Number 4, a subway station. Number 5, a museum. And number 6, the train, a train. Okay, so this is the vocabulary that you guys are going to need. And now we are going to go with the first listening activity. So this listening activity is going to be very simple. Remember that you do need to use the vocabulary that we just saw to answer these first 3 questions. So listening, let's see what the instruction is. Okay, so it says, listen to 3 conversations. Okay, where is Alice in each situation? So each of the situations, or in each of the conversations, Alice is the main character and she's talking to somebody else. That somebody else for each of the conversations is somebody different. Okay, so the first thing you have to do, or the only thing you have to do for this first activity, first listening activity, and then after this one, we are going to have a listening activity that is a little bit more complex and more complete if you want. So the only thing you have to do for this first time is to identify her location. Now, you have 2 ways. The first thing you can do, if you have access to a phone, is that you can scan the QR code that appears on the bottom right of the screen. So all you have to do is open the, if you have access to a cell phone and internet on your phone. If you don't, that's fine, I'm going to play it. But if you want to try to do this individually, what you have to do is open the camera on your cell phone, place it on the QR code, and then that is going to take you to the website where you can play the listening. So let me show you right there. Oh, wait. So right there, all you have to do is press play, and you should have access to the listening, and you can do it at your own time, at your own pace. But if you don't have access to that, that's fine. I'm going to play it. I'm going to actually play a video, and we're going to try to answer those 3 questions. So remember that right now, all you have to do is tell me where she is located. So let's play the video. 1. Just give me 1 second. Making sure that you guys can have access to the sound as okay, so that should work now. So let's do that.
1.
So, where are you flying?
I'm traveling to Madrid.
Oh, really? Are you going on vacation?
No, actually, my mother is from there.
I see. So what are you going to do in Madrid?
I'm going to visit my relatives.
And how long are you going to stay there?
Just a week.
I imagine you are going to meet all your cousins, aunts, and uncles.
Yes, I can't wait. I haven't seen them for ages. It's going to be great. Oh, my plane is boarding now. I have to go.
Have a nice flight.
Same to you. 2.
Excuse me, is this the right platform for Main Street?
Yes, it is.
Great.
I'm going there too.
Really? What are you going to do on Main Street?
I'm going to do some shopping.
And what are you going to buy?
I'm going to buy some clothes. And what about you?
I'm going to meet some friends. We are going to watch a movie together.
Sounds good. Oh, here's our train.
Great.
3.
Hi, have you been waiting long?
About 10 minutes. It's going to arrive soon, I hope.
Where are you going?
I'm going to University Street.
Are you a student?
No, I'm just going to meet a friend for coffee. What about you?
I'm going to visit the museum. Have you been there?
Yes, a few times. It's very interesting. Is it your first time?
Yes, it is.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Okay, so those were our 3 conversations. And with the video, it should have been very easy to identify the location. So let's see if you guys get that. Okay.
1.
So I'm going to skip this one because we already did this, and we're going to go to the next one, listening. I'm going to show you the answers now. If you have questions about the answers, you have the QR code, or I will play the video again for the next set of questions so you can double check what you have, or just go back in this video. Okay, so the first one, she is at a departure lounge, right? That's where she is. She is at a departure lounge. That is the first place where she is. Then for number 2, she's at the subway station, more specifically the platform. And at number 3, she's at a bus stop. So again, the answers were for number 1, a departure lounge. She's waiting for a plane. Number 2, a subway station or platform. Either of the 2 answers are correct. And number 3, a bus stop. So I told you that this listening activity was going to get a little bit more complicated, because now what you guys have to do is that you need to listen or check for understanding. So you are going to be answering. We're going to watch the same video, but this time you have to answer a little bit more in detail. Okay, so let's see what details you have to answer. So checking for understanding, listen again and complete the table about Alice's travel plans. So for dialogue 1, you are going to tell me where she's going. Okay, so not where she's at, because we already know that for dialogue 1, she is at a departure lounge. So you already have that answer. I don't need that answer anymore. So for number 1, you have to tell me what her destination is, so where she is going. Then you are going to tell me what for, so what is the purpose of that trip. Okay, so I don't know, work, study, I don't know, hang out with friends, whatever it is that you understand. And you have to tell me for how long. So a couple hours, 1 day, 1 week, blah, 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 blah. And some of these answers might be, well, some of these answers, no. For the last question, for how long, for the frequency, is not always explicit, meaning that you are not going to find the answer in the conversation word by word. So you have to figure it out. Okay, so, and you are going to be answering the same 3 questions for dialogue 1, 2, and 3. So let's watch the video again and remember those 3 questions that you have to answer. So again, destination is the first one, purpose. So why is she going, or what for, and for how long, the duration of the action or the visit. Okay, so let's watch the video, and once the video is complete, we are going to check the answers just to make sure if you guys got them right. Remember that if you didn't get them right, that is fine. We are learning, and if you did get them right, excellent. So let's see.
1.
So, where are you flying?
I'm traveling to Madrid.
Oh, really? Are you going on vacation?
No, actually, my mother is from there.
I see. So, what are you going to do in Madrid?
I'm going to visit my relatives.
And how long are you going to stay there?
Just a week.
I imagine you are going to meet all your cousins, aunts, and uncles.
Yes, I can't wait. I haven't seen them for ages. It's going to be great. Oh, my plane is boarding now. I have to go.
Have a nice flight.
Same to you. 2.
Excuse me, is this the right platform for Main Street?
Yes, it is.
Great.
I'm going there too.
Really? What are you going to do on Main Street?
I'm going to do some shopping.
And what are you going to buy?
I'm going to buy some clothes. And what about you?
I'm going to meet some friends. We are going to watch a movie together.
Sounds good. Oh, here's our train.
Great.
3.
Hi, have you been waiting long?
About 10 minutes. It's going to arrive soon, I hope.
Where are you going?
I'm going to University Street.
Are you a student?
No, I'm just going to meet a friend for coffee. What about you?
I'm going to visit the museum. Have you been there?
Yes, a few times. It's very interesting. Is it your first time?
Yes, it is.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Okay, guys, so I know it's a lot of information. The video is not that long. It's under 2 minutes, so 1 minute and 45 seconds. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to play the video again, but at the end of each of the conversations, I'm going to stop it to give you some time to review your answers or write them down if you don't have them yet. Okay, so let's go back to the video. And we start with conversation number 1. If you are missing some of the answers, try to do this again, and I'm going to give you time at the end of the video, so before we start video number 2, to fill those out. So let's hear.
1.
So, where are you flying?
I'm traveling to Madrid.
Oh, really? Are you going on vacation?
No, actually, my mother is from there.
I see. So, what are you going to do in Madrid?
I'm going to visit my relatives.
And how long are you going to stay there?
Just a week.
I imagine you are going to meet all your cousins, aunts, and uncles.
Yes, I can't wait. I haven't seen them for ages. It's going to be great. Oh, my plane is boarding now. I have to go.
Have a nice flight.
Same to you.
Okay, so remember that the first question is where, her destination. Then the second question is what for, the purpose. So she's going to that place to do what? And the third question is for how long. So I'll give you 5 seconds and we move on to the next one. So let's go to number 2, and remember that once we finish number 3, we are going to check the answers, okay, and see if you got them wrong or right.
2.
Excuse me, is this the right platform for Main Street?
Yes, it is.
Great.
I'm going there too.
Really? What are you going to do on Main Street?
I'm going to do some shopping.
And what are you going to buy?
I'm going to buy some clothes. And what about you?
I'm going to meet some friends. We are going to watch a movie together.
Sounds good. Oh, here's our train.
Great.
So same thing, I give you 5 seconds. And now let's go to our last conversation. If you don't remember that the order of the questions are first where to, where she's going, where is Alice going, then what for, so what is she going there for, and for how long is she going. and the answers appear in the same order in the conversation if that is easier for you. Okay, so the first answer is going to be destination, the second answer is going to be why she's going there, and the third answer that you find in the conversation is going to be for how long. In this case, is one of the cases where the answer is not explicit for that third question, for how long. It just makes sense. So let's see if you understand what I'm talking about. So let's go with number 3.
3.
Hi, have you been waiting long?
About 10 minutes. It's going to arrive soon, I hope.
Where are you going?
I'm going to University Street.
Are you a student?
No, I'm just going to meet a friend for coffee. What about you?
I'm going to visit the museum. Have you been there?
Yes, a few times. It's very interesting. Is it your first time?
Yes, it is.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
Okay, so that was the end. Again, 5 seconds, and then we move on to the answer. So okay, let's see the answers. So for dialogue 1, where Madrid? She says she's going to Madrid, and remember that Madrid is the capital of Spain. And she also says, if you didn't understand, she says that she's going to Madrid because her mom is from there, so her mom is Spanish. Okay, what for? Her mom is from Madrid, so she's going to visit relatives. Relatives means family members. She's going to visit the family members of hers that live in Madrid. And he mentions like cousins and uncles and aunts. Okay, for how long? 1 week. So she's going to be staying in Madrid for 1 week. Do you get him? Let me know in the comments. Let's go with dialogue 2. Okay, so where? She's going to Main Street. Okay, Main Street. What for? To buy clothes. She says that she's gonna go shopping, and then he asks, what are you going to buy? And she says, I'm going to buy clothes. Okay, and the third question, for how long? This is one of those answers that I told you from the beginning was not going to be explicit. So for how long? For however long it takes her. So if buying clothes takes her 30 minutes, she's going to be on Main Street for 30 minutes. If it takes her 2 hours, she's going to be on Main Street for 2 hours, and so on. And the last one is dialogue 3, of course. So same questions, where, what for, and for how long. And the answers are where to University Street. University Street. What for? To meet a friend for coffee. So he asks if when she says that she is going to go to University Street, he asks if she is if she is a student. And she says, no, I'm not a student. I'm just going to meet a friend for coffee. And then for how long? Same as dialogue 2, for however long it takes. She's going to be with a friend. They're going to be talking. If they talk for 1 hour, then she's going to be on University Street for 1 hour. If they talk for 2 hours, then she's going to be, or they are going to be on University Street for 2 hours, and so on. So let me know if this activity was easy, difficult, in between. And while you guys do that in the comments, we are going to move on to our next activity. Okay, so for this activity, what you guys have to do is that you are going to complete the dialogue. So the explanation here is that we often use the structure be going to plus infinitive to talk about plans and predictions. Now, be going to, you have to conjugate that be. That means that if you are talking about yourself, so you say I am going to. You are going to. He, she is going to. We are going to. They are going to. And then we have infinitive. Infinitive is a verb that has not been conjugated, okay? So we are just going to use the verb as we see it. We are not going to modify that verb at all. So again, as I was saying before, we use this structure to talk about plans and predictions. In this case, remember that the topic of today's lesson is travel plans. So we are going to be using this structure to talk about travel plans. So for example, am or I am, so am is the contraction of I am, I'm going to read a book tomorrow. That is my plan for tomorrow. I'm going to read a book tomorrow. So look at these sentences from the dialogues, the sentences below, and complete with be going to plus one of the words below, one of the words in pink, the one that makes sense. Okay, so listen again to check your answers, but of course, right after this, I'm going to show you the correct answers. So the words that you are going to use is visit, and you're going to be using that twice, stay, meet, and meet, you're going to be using that 3 times. Enjoy, be, buy, you're going to be using buy 2 times. Do, you're going to be using do 3 times. And watch. Okay, so you have extracts, like pieces of conversations from each of the dialogue. They are in the order they appear, but that doesn't mean in the conversation they appear one right after the other. So number 2 does not appear right after number 1. Okay, so I'm going to read it and then I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for you guys to try to figure out the correct order. And right after that, I'm going to show you the correct answers. Okay, so in dialogue 1, we have, so what, blank, in Madrid. 2, I, blank, my relatives. 3, how long, blank, there. 4, I imagine, blank, all your cousins, aunts, and uncles, and number 5, it, blank, great. So that is the first dialogue. If you need a little bit more time, please pause the video, because I'm about to move to the blanks you have to fill in, or you have to complete, in dialogue number 2. Okay, let's go with dialogue number 2 and number 3. So in dialogue number 2, we have what, blank, on Main Street. 2, I, blank, some shopping. 3, and what, blank. 4, I, blank, some clothes. 5, I, blank, some friends. We, blank, a movie together. And for dialogue number 3, that is the shortest one, you only have 3 lines to complete. Number 1, I, blank, a friend for coffee. 2, I, blank, the museum. And 3, I'm sure you, blank, it. So before I show you guys the answers, let's go back to the words, the vocabulary words that we have available to fill in these blanks. So remember that we have visit, and we're going to be using visit 2 times. Then we have stay, then we have meet. In that meet, we're going to be using it 3 times. Then we have enjoy, we have be, we have buy 2 times. We have do 3 times, and we have watch. So let's try to use common sense and see how that works out for us. So those are the instructions. Those are the words we have available. And this is the first line. So what are you going to do in Madrid? Okay, so we're using do. And remember that we're going to be using do 3 times. This is the first time. So what are you going to do in Madrid? That should have been your first answer. I'm going to visit my relatives. Okay, I'm going to visit my relatives. And how long are you going to stay there? And how long are you going to stay there? I imagine you are going to meet all your cousins, aunts, and uncles. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So those were the answers to our first dialogue. Now let's see the answers to our second and third dialogue. So dialogue 2, what are you going to do on Main Street? What are you going to do on Main Street? I'm going to do some shopping. I'm going to do some shopping. And this is why I was telling you before we started this activity that you have to use common sense. Shop. So she's going to be doing some shopping. A synonym of shop to shop is buy. So when you do shopping, you are buying. So of course, the next word we have to use has to be buy. Okay, so and what are you going to buy? And she says, I'm going to buy some clothes. And then he says what he is going to do. I'm going to meet some friends and we are going to watch a movie together. So that is our second dialogue. Let's go now with our third dialogue. So dialogue number 3. I'm just going to meet a friend for coffee. I included this just in blue because this is a word that she says in the conversation, but if you don't have it in your answer, that's fine. Then he says, I'm going to visit the museum. I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. So those are the answers, you guys. If you want to double check the answers, you have the QR code that you can scan. So let's go with our last activity. That is, well, right before our last activity. That is the explanation of this grammar. So I'm going to explain very briefly. We are going to complete one activity and then we have like a wrap-up activity. So grammar practice, okay? So we are going to complete the sentences with going to and the correct verb below. Okay, so the verbs you have, and remember that you have to use that going to with the verb to be. So if you're talking about I am. If you're talking about you are. He, she, it, is. We are and they are. Okay, so I've decided, before we go with the dialogue, these are the verbs you are going to use. You're not going to repeat them. Okay, so the options are be, buy, call, cook, give, order, rain, start, stay, and watch. We have 10 words because you have 10 sentences. So you are not going to be repeating any of the words. So the first one, I've decided to go to Thailand this summer. It blank amazing. I'll give you 3 seconds to figure that one out and then we move on to the next one. Okay, number 2 is Joe's birthday tomorrow. What present blank you blank him? Same 3 seconds. Number 3. Okay, I've decided I blank the chicken and rice. Waiter. So if she's saying wait or he, we really don't know if it's a he, she or a he. But she's in a restaurant because she's talking about a waiter and she's talking about what she's gonna eat. So which of those verbs makes sense? Number 4, look at those dark clouds. Okay, I think it blank. Again, you guys, common sense. Number 5, I'm looking forward my trip to Japan. I blank there for a month. Number 6, blank you blank the football game tonight. So what do you do with games usually? Okay, so right now I'm thinking of two things, but only one of the words that you have in pink makes sense. Number 7, have you spoken to Mike yet? No, I haven't. I blank him later. So what do you do? Which of the words that you have in pink makes sense if you want to talk to somebody? Okay. Number 8. Michael's laptop can't be fixed, so he blank a new one. Nine, what blank you blank for dinner tonight? And again, 3 seconds. And the last one, number 10, what time blank the movie blank? Okay, let's see the answers. Let's take a look at the answers. There is only one possible option for each of them, so let's see whether or not you get this right. And please let me know in the comments if this activity was easy or challenging. So let's go to the answers. I've decided, that's number 1, I've decided to go to Thailand this summer. It's going, or it is going to be amazing. That is our first answer. It's going to be amazing. Number 2, it's Joe's birthday tomorrow. What present are you going to give him? It's Joe's birthday tomorrow. What present are you going to give him? Number 3, okay, I've decided. I'm going to order the chicken and rice. Waiter. 4, look at those dark clouds. I think it's going to rain. So again, that is, look at those dark clouds. I think it's going to rain. Number 5, I'm looking forward to my trip to Japan. I'm going to stay there for 1 month. So again, that was, I'm looking forward to my trip to Japan. I'm going to stay there for 1 month. Number 6, are you going to watch the football game tonight? Again, are you going to watch the football game tonight? 7, have you spoken to Mike yet? No, I haven't. I'm going to call him later. So again, that was, have you spoken to Mike yet? No, I haven't. I'm going to call him later. Number 8, Michael's laptop can't be fixed, so he's going to buy a new one. Again, that was, Michael's laptop can't be fixed, so he's going to buy a new one. Number 9, what are you going to cook for dinner tonight? One more time. What are you going to cook for dinner tonight? And the last one, number 10, of course, there is only one option or one word that we have not used so far, and that is the one you should be using for this one. So what time is the movie going to start? What time is the movie going to start? Okay, so before we go to our last activity for today, just pay attention to some of the contractions. Okay, so for example, in number 1, contractions, before I explain, contractions are optional. They are very common, so people tend to make more contractions than to use the 2 words. But if you want to use the 2 words, that is completely fine. So number 1, you have a contraction, and that contraction is it's. You can say it's and it is correct, or you can say it is. Number 3, you also have a contraction, so am, I, am, or am. They're both correct. Number 4 is the same contraction as number 1. Number 5 is the same contraction as number 3. Number 7, same contraction as number 3. So again, you can say am or I am going, and I just realized that I'm missing an I right after the O. So please make that correction. Number 8, his or he is. They are both correct. So he is going to buy or he's going to buy. Okay? So that's it for today, you guys. But before we finish, the wrap-up activity is going to be a question that, again, you are going to be answering in the comments. Okay? So that question is, what are your plans for tonight? What are your plans for tonight? And I would say, I am going to watch a TV show. I am going to watch a TV show. That's my plan. Let me know what your plans are for tonight in the comments, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.